Today I thought it might be fun if we read through some of my childhood books. I recently got my hands on some of them. There was, well, it's a very, very long story, but a lot of items from my childhood are not still around. There was this pretty major event and a lot of things were damaged and lost, but a very strange amount of coincidences took place, and I was able to get 2 tote bins of books, and I was going through them the other day and I thought it might be fun to share a few of them. I brought a couple out, and one of them is in French. None of them are in Polish or Russian, but actually kind of in that vein from my last video. I was talking to my dad about languages and Russian and Polish, and I had completely forgotten that when I was a kid, my dad actually learned Polish, not Russian, just Polish, and he had this book with Polish language in it and a tape. So we put it in the cassette player and it would tell you phrases and things. And I realized that I had held on to one phrase and that's all I ever learned. I was really, really young when he was learning, but I can say Scintillantes, which, if I'm not mistaken, means good morning. But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. So no Polish, no Russian books, English and French, and I only brought up one French. So this one is by an author named Kevin Henkes. I think that's how you pronounce it. And there are a few in the series, but this one always made me laugh. And there was another book by the same author involving a mouse character, and it was called Chrysanthemum. And that one was always my favorite, but I don't think I ever owned it. So, Lily's purple plastic purse. Lily's purple plastic purse. Let's see. It should have publishing here. Let's see. Copyright 1996. All right, 1996. Lily loved school. She loved the pointy pencils, she loved the squeaky chalk, and she loved the way her boots went clickety-clickety-click down the long, shiny hallways. Lily loved the privacy of her very own desk. She loved the fish sticks and chocolate milk every Friday in the lunchroom, and most of all, she loved her teacher, Mr. Slinger. Fish sticks and chocolate milk does not sound very good to me, but Mr. Slinger was as sharp as a tack. He wore artistic shirts, he wore glasses on a chain around his neck, and he wore a different colored tie for each day of the week. Wow, said Lily. That was just about all she could say. Wow. Instead of greetings, students, or good morning, pupils, Mr. Slinger winked and said, howdy. He thought that desks and rows were old-fashioned and boring. Do you rodents think you can handle a semicircle? And he always provided the most tasty snacks, things that were curly and crunchy and cheesy. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Me too, said all her friends, Chester and Wilson and Victor. At home, Lily pretended to be Mr. Slinger. I am the teacher, she told her baby brother Julius. Listen up. Lily even wanted her own set of deluxe picture encyclopedias. "What's with Lily?" asked her mother. "I thought she wanted to be a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva," said her father. "It must be because of her new teacher, Mr. Slinger," said her mother. "Wow," said her father. That was just about all he could say. Wow. Whenever the students had free time, they were permitted to go to the light bulb lab in the back of the classroom. They expressed their ideas creatively through drawing and writing. Lily went often. She had a lot of ideas. She drew pictures of Mr. Slinger, and she wrote stories about him too. During sharing time, Lily showed her creations to the entire class. "Wow," said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Wow. I don't know how much detail you can see in the photos, or the pictures, sorry. They're pretty cute. When Mr. Slinger had bus duty, Lily stood in line, even though she didn't ride the bus. Lily raised her hand more than anyone else in class, even if she didn't know the answer. And she volunteered to stay after school to clap erasers. "I want to be a teacher when I grow up," said Lily. "Excellent choice," said Mr. Slinger. One Monday morning, Lily came to school especially happy. She had gone shopping with her Grammy over the weekend. Lily had a new pair of movie star sunglasses, complete with glittery diamonds and a chain just like Mr. Slinger's. She had 3 shiny quarters, and best of all, she had a brand new purple plastic purse that played a jaunty tune when it was opened. Lily wanted to show everyone. "Not now," said Mr. Slinger. "Listen to our story." Lily had a hard time listening. Lily really wanted to show everyone. "Not now," said Mr. Slinger. "Let's be considerate of our classmates." Lily had a hard time being considerate. Lily really wanted to show everyone. "Not now," said Mr. Slinger. "Wait until recess or sharing time." But Lily could not wait. The glasses were so glittery, the quarters were so shiny, and the purse played such nice music, not to mention how excellent it was for storing school supplies. "Look," Lily whispered fiercely. "Look, everyone, look what I've got." Everyone looked, including Mr. Slinger. He was not amused. "I'll just keep your things at my desk until the end of the day," said Mr. Slinger. "They'll be safe there, and then you can take them home." Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. Her glasses were gone, her quarters were gone, her purple plastic purse was gone. Lily longed for her purse all morning. She was even too sad to eat the snack Mr. Slinger served before recess. That afternoon, Lily went to the light bulb lab. She was still very sad. She thought and she thought and she thought. And then she became angry. She thought and she thought some more, and then she became furious. She thought and she thought and she thought a bit longer, and then she drew a picture of Mr. Slinger. Right before the bell rang, Lily sneaked the drawing into Mr. Slinger's book bag. Big, fat, mean Mr. Stealing Teacher, wanted by the FBI. P.S. I do not want to be a teacher when I grow up. When all the students were buttoned and zipped and snapped and tied and ready to go home, Mr. Slinger strolled over to Lily and gave her a purple plastic purse back. "It's a beautiful purse," said Mr. Slinger. "Your quarters are nice and jingly, and those glasses are absolutely fabulous. You may bring them back to school as long as you don't disturb the rest of the class." "I do not want to be a teacher when I grow up," Lily said as she marched out of the classroom. On On the way home, Lily opened her purse. Her glasses and quarters were inside, and so was a note from Mr. Slinger. It said, "Today was a difficult day. Tomorrow will be better." There was also a small bag of tasty snacks at the bottom of her purse. Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. She felt simply awful. Lily ran all the way home and told her mother and father everything. Instead of watching her favorite cartoons, Lily decided to sit in the uncooperative chair. That night, Lily drew a new picture of Mr. Slinger and wrote a story about him too. Lily was really, really sorry, so everyone forgave her, even her parents, even her stinky baby brother, even her especially incredible teacher. And then the sun shined its smiley face down on everyone and everything, even the bugs and worms. The end. Lily's mother wrote a note, and Lily's father picked some tasty snacks for Lily to take to school the next day. "I think Mr. Slinger will understand," said Lily's mother. "I know he will," said Lily's father. The next morning, Lily got to school early. "These are for you," Lily said to Mr. Slinger, "because I'm really, 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 really sorry." I remember when I was younger and we would get to this part and we would try to count all of the really, really, reallys. Mr. Slinger read the story, and he looked at the picture, and he read the note, and he sampled the snacks. "Wow," said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Wow. "What do you think we should do with this?" asked Mr. Slinger. "Could we just throw it away?" asked Lily. "Excellent idea," said Mr. Slinger. During sharing time, Lily demonstrated the many uses and unique qualities of her purple plastic purse, her shiny quarters, and her glittery movie star sunglasses. Then she did a little performance using them as props. "It's called interpretive dance," said Lily. Mr. Slinger joined in. "Wow," said the entire class. That was just about all they could say. Wow. Throughout the rest of the day, Lily's purse and quarters and sunglasses were tucked safely inside her desk. She peeked at them often, but did not disturb a soul. Right before the last bell rang, Mr. Slinger served Lily's snacks to everyone's delight. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" asked Mr. Slinger. "A teacher," everyone responded. Lily's response was the loudest. "Excellent choice," said Mr. Slinger. As the pupils filed out of the classroom, Lily held her purple plastic purse close to her heart. Mr. Slinger was right. It had been a better day. Lily ran and skipped and hopped and flew all the way home. She was so happy. And she really did want to be a teacher when she grew up. That is, when she didn't want to be a dancer or a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva or a pilot or a hairdresser or a scuba diver. So I always really enjoyed that one. This one I did. It's a collection of poems, and my babysitter from when I was young actually gave this to me, and she wrote a little note in the front. "This was a favorite book of mine when I was your age. Hope you like it too. P.S. I believe in you." Sorry if you heard that, I have loud pets today. So it's called Fairies of the Trees, and it's different poems different trees, so you get a little bit of information about the trees, but also fairies. And I was going through them, and I don't think I can read all of them because it looks like quite a few of the pages are stuck together, and I don't know exactly what happened there. But it's such a nice book, and I wanted to show it anyway. So I'll read this, just this short one. The Song of the Willow Fairy. By the peaceful stream or the shady pool, I dip my leaves in the water cool. Over the water I lean all day, where the sticklebacks and the minnows play. I dance when the breezes blow, and dip my toes in the stream below. I thought this was cute. Now, we'll do this one, and then we'll save the short little French one for last. This is called The Second Princess, and I think we actually got this one from the library. The library that I used to go to growing up, every so often they would have too many books, or they would get new stock, and the books that were not being checked out very frequently would go on a little cart at the front of the library, and you could buy them for really, really cheap. So we got a few books from the library. So this is called The Second Princess. Now see if I can find a year in this one. The Flower Fairies book, I did look at it. I don't know when that version was published, but the original copyright is from 1940. So The Second Princess, text copyright 1994. Okay, 1994. The Second Princess. And these are very, very detailed drawings, so hopefully you can see them. Once there were two princesses, the first princess and the second princess. The first princess liked being first, but the second princess did not like being second. She ran into the woods to find the gray wolf. Gray wolf, she said, you must come into the palace at the dead of night and gobble up my sisters so that I can be first. It's a little extreme. Goodness gracious, said the gray wolf. What a wicked thought. I would never do a thing like that. Never. So the second princess went to find the brown bear. Brown bear, she said, you must come to the palace and marry my sister so she's not at home and I can be first. You'd think that would have been her first choice instead of Walker, but sibling rivalries. Oh, must I indeed, said the brown bear. Well, let me tell you, I wouldn't marry your sister if she were the last person on earth. Besides, as you can see, I'm already happily married. So the second princess stamped into the palace kitchen, her face as white as a sheet. Cook, she said. Baked in a pie or gone in a puff of steam, I don't care. I want my sister out of the way so I can be first, and that's in order. Very well, said the greedy cook, but I shall want something in return. Like what? Said the second princess. Jewels, said the greedy cook. Your mother's jewels. All of them. Jewels, jewels, and more jewels. I'll try, said the second princess. So the second princess crept into her mother's bedroom and did what she could, cramming and stuffing and pocketing glittering, gorgeous things. Lockets, tiaras, and watches and necklaces, chokers and chains, bracelets, brooches and earrings, hatpins, buckles and rings. And though her heart was beating like a loud clock and her knees were trembling like a trembly jelly, she grew so busy with it, she did not notice the maid come in to make the bed, the queen come in to find the maid. Two ladies in waiting come in to find the queen, two guards come in to find the ladies in waiting, the Lord High Chamberlain come in to find the guards, and the king came in to find the Lord High Chamberlain. In fact, only when the maid sobbed, the queen gasped, the ladies in waiting fainted, the guards shouted, "Who goes there?" and the king marched her off to the throne room did she realize she was caught, in the act and red-handed. "Well," said the king when they were alone in the throne room, "I am waiting, I am waiting, I am waiting." But of course, the one thing in the world the second princess could never do was tell what she had been doing with the queen's jewels. All she could do was hang her head and try not to imagine what would happen if anyone ever found out. At last, the queen swept in with an idea. "If you cannot tell us what you are doing with the jewels," she said, "then we shall have to guess. Was it to polish them?" The second princess shook her head. Sorry, these pages are a little stuck. "Was it to play kings and queens?" said the king. The second princess shook her head. "Then was it to give them to someone," said the queen, "in return for something you wanted very, very much?" And then, and only then, did the second princess put her hands over her eyes so she could only half be seen, and whisper so softly through her fingers that the king and queen had to come very close to hear. "Yes," came the soft whisper, "so that I could be first." And to her great surprise, the sky did not fall in, and the world did not come to an end. Instead, the queen sighed gratefully, and the king said, "Thank goodness we know. Now run along and help your mother put away her tiaras. And from now on, you will be first on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays," which she was. And the first princess will be first on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, which she was. And on Sundays, we'll all be first, said the king. And they were. And though the first princess took a while getting used to not being first all of the time, and the second princess took a while getting used to being first some of the time, and Sundays were always a bit of a bun fight, they all lived very happily afterwards. Except for the cook, who stormed off in a huff because all she wanted was jewels, jewels, and more jewels, and because she never knew which day of the week it was anyway. This is one of the ones from the library. Still has the sticker in the back from March 7th, 1995. So I always liked that one. And last but not least, we have our little French one. It's Little Red Riding Hood in French. Petit, Chaperon, Rouge. I hope you can see this. It's got these glittery, shimmery pieces. Sur le sentier d'une forêt, un loup affamé rencontra le petit chaperon rouge, tout encapuchonné. Où vas-tu ainsi, bel enfant? Porter une galette à grand-maman, et j'ai bien peu de temps. Aussitôt le loup partit en courant. Il arriva le premier chez grand-maman. Alors, il l'enferma dans un coffre en bois et attendit patiemment son appétissante proie. Que t'arrive-t-il, grand-maman? S'écria le petit chaperon rouge à peine arrivé. Tu as de grands oreilles et de si longues dents. Tu sembles très affamé et ton regard a changé. Soudain, Le loup se leva de bond, bien décidé à croquer d'une bouchée le petit chaperon rouge, terrorisé. Heureusement, un chasseur qui passait par là vit la scène et, plein de courage, entra. Devant le chasseur en colère, le loup, pris de peur, s'enfuit ventre à terre. Grand-maman réapparut pour embrasser sa petite fille rassurée. Toutes les deux firent honneur au goûter. C'est délicieux, s'exclama grand-maman. Mais à partir de maintenant, je fermerai ma porte à clé. That was a very nice, watered-down version of the story. If you don't speak French, the hunter did not come in and use the axe because the wolf ate grandmother. That wolf just locked grandmother in the closet. So, I hope that you enjoyed some of those. I have many more, but I thought it would be fun just to bring a few up and read them and share them with you.